Actually, napag-usapan po namin ni Joshua and with his dad, yung thing na yan. And ang sabi ko lang kay Joshua is, explore mo lang lahat. Okay, the biology, chemistry, the maths, physics, sciences, no? And then, it's up to you. After that, after learning all of these things, ikaw bahala kung saan mo gusto. Yes, kasi gano'n naman talaga dapat. If kung saan gustong pumunta ng bata, doon dapat siya.
Okay. Yeah, please, go ahead.
So, I think, tama po yun, na pwede pong, pero I don't think na kailangan mag-pick lang ng isa. Kasi pwedeng, pag nalaman ko po, let's say, may physics, may chemistry, pwedeng may biology, pwedeng lahat po yun i-integrate into some future, some direction po na lahat nagamit naman po. Hindi naman po yung parang nasayang ako na mag-aral ng chemistry, pwede pala ako may chemist. Hindi naman po ganun. Ma-apply po lahat, all the sciences are intertwined.
Your food fresh and your kitchen.
It's about you, your health, your charity, your wellness. It's a beautiful life. It's about your business, your journey, your beauty, your body. It's a beautiful life. In the hustle and bustle of digital age, let's set back and talk about our beautiful life, our journeys, our challenges, and above all, our health and beauty. It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life. Sa programang ito, life is always beautiful.
Isang magandang hapon, Pilipinas! Welcome to another beautiful Sunday. Kumusta na po kayong lahat dyan ngayong araw na ito? Nakapagsimba na ba? Alam nyo, it's a jam-packed studio for me this December 7, 2025 dahil ang dami ko pong mga guests ngayong hapon and I'm really glad they came in. They came all the way from Tarlac City and ngayong hapon po makakapanayam natin sila. Just like what I've told you sa akin pong mga posts, these guests that we have today, to me, are special. Kasi gusto ko rin silang, alam niyo po yun, matulungan. Anyway, for over 2 decades, we have celebrated the Filipino genius. But today, we are diving deep into the hidden struggle that often accompanies brilliance. We are talking about the gifted child, our national treasures whose extraordinary minds are often mismatched with our current educational realities. Our today's conversation is crucial because it's about systemic failure and constitutional rights. We are honored to be joined by 2 young men who embody the potential and the challenges of the gift of the learner. We have with us the brilliant, the 16-year-old homeschooled Joshua Soliman. Hi, Joshua.
Hello po.
Ayan. And also, we have with us, naka-black po siya ngayon. Naku, gwapong-gwapo rin, gwapito. We have Manuel John Talyada, or as they call him, MJ. Yes, Michael po, MJ is a UP BS Biology graduate. Ang sabi ng daddy niya kanina, he's 25, but to me, he looks 16. Alright, and of course, we also have with us the fierce advocate and the father of Joshua, Doc Pietro Soliman. Hi, Doc. Mamaya ko na po kayo pababatiin. Introduce ko po muna kayong lahat. And of course, we have the father of MJ, Mr. Jasper Talyada. How are you there, sir? At syempre, itong mga batang ito, they were, as in the case of Joshua, he's homeschooled. And isa sa kanyang napakagaling na professor, naku, mukhang bagets din itong kasama natin ngayong araw. Ba't ba ganon? Nagmumukha tuloy ako matanda. Of course, we have Mr. Sigmund Fajardo Breton. Welcome to you all.
Doc Pietro, we know that Joshua is homeschooled. That decision speaks volume about the challenges you faced today. We need to show our audience step by step why families like yours must choose to leave the traditional system as the form of schooling for our geniuses here. Okay, Doc, bumati ka muna sa ating mga audience.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo mga nakikinig dito sa show ni Miss Connie. At gusto kong ilarawan muna bakit kaya pinili namin na mag-homeschool si Joshua. Kasi po, ang mga ordinaryong bata, pagka 2 taong gulang, nag-aaral pa lang magsalita at mag-ABC. Si Joshua po, at 2 years old, 2.5 years old, nakakapag-add, multiply, divide by the trillions, kung ilan po kaya ng papel o ng whiteboard. Tapos nag-spell na rin siya ng mga, at nagbabasa na rin siya. Kahit na, almost all. So, ano pong matututunan niya?
So you decided to
So,
go.
yes, kasi nung 5 years old po siya, tinuruan ko na siya ng algebra and geometry.
Okay, before we dive into that particulars, I would like to ask Doc Sig here. Ano po ba talaga ang isang gifted child para sa kapakanan po ng ating audience? I think they should understand kasi merong, alam mo naman dito sa Pilipinas, hindi ito nabigyan ng tuon. So today in our program, ito yung gagawin natin to be able to tell people, the whole Philippines, yung gobyerno natin at the same time, ano ba talaga ang isang gifted child? Doc Sigmund.
Hello. Good afternoon everyone sa mga listeners ng It's a Beautiful Life ni Miss Connie. For me, pag sinabi natin gifted is, it's not just about they know how to solve math problems or science problems at an early age, but yung meron silang critical thinking, okay? They know how to apply what they have learned. In other words, meron silang wisdom.
Okay.
Okay, so ito yung para sa akin na masasabi natin na gifted yung isang tao.
Okay. Okay. Let us introduce also the dad, no? Ano po ba para sa inyo ang isang gifted child?
Ako isang gifted child, parang kakaiba siya mag-isip, na hindi mo nakikita sa mga ordinaryong bata. He can easily relate things from left to right, from top to bottom, at nakakapag-deduce po siya out of those learnings niya, out of those comparisons.
Okay. Alam niyo ako kasi I read one thing, medyo may itong word na to, please explain. Ayan, kung sino sa inyong dalawang genius na nandito. Yung tinatawag daw na asynchronous development. Meaning to say, ito daw yung first step into understanding yung giftedness ng isang bata. What is asynchronous development? Joshua?
Magandang hapon po.
Yes, hindi pa nga pala siya ng bumate. Yes, Josh.
It's a beautiful life nga po.
Mhm.
So, from the word asynchronous, the means not and synchronous means at the same time. So asynchronous learning means that certain people learn faster or slower than the regular average, the mean average.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin ba nito that the cognitive growth of the child is mabilis? The speed is to raise it compared to the ordinary na bata?
Can I add something?
Okay.
Mali, tama po yung sinabi ni Joshua. We can interpret in asynchronous development in two ways. But asynchronous, hindi sabay. Synchronous, sabay-sabay. A means not. So, hindi sabay-sabay. Hindi siya sabay-sabay ng development katulad ng mga ibang bata. And we can also interpret it in a way na sa isang tao, asynchronous yung development. Like in intellectual niya, hindi pantay do sa emotional niya or sa mga spiritual niya or pwede rin na sa academic mismo. Baka magaling niya sa math, pero ayaw niya yung language. Or magaling sa, yung iba, magaling sa language, hindi magaling sa math, or hindi siya, nahuli sa sciences.
Okay.
So, ganun po yung dalawang interpretation ng asynchronous development.
Okay, so meaning to say, kunyari, at 16 today si Joshua, ibig sabihin ito, yung reasoning capacity niya could be of that of isang graduate, pero yung kanyang social tools, pa rin, parang mas bata. Am I right in saying that, Josh?
Baka parang regular lang po, baka regular po ako sa ibang aspects, pero in other aspects naman po, hindi naman po.
Ayan.
Baka yun nga po, parang graduate.
Okay.
Punta tayo kay MJ. Please, first, magbati ka muna and then answer the
Hello.
question kasi ikaw yung gifted dito eh. So, I'm sure mas alam mo ang isasagot.
Hello, good afternoon. Well, I'd like to paint a picture of what it's like to be asynchronous from the perspective of someone different. It means being bored out of your mind during class if you are in a traditional school. Because you already know 90% of the study material and the way the teacher explain things. You do not need the long-winded explanations. So
Okay.
that could, if the kid is given access, given a mentor that actually gives him the intellectual stimulation that fits his capacity, that kid would be a lot happier. So imagine all of those hyper-intelligent kids just feeling their brain get bored and rot away in the classroom because their peer levels, it is perfectly suited for them.
Okay.
But for their mind, everything moves so slow and that can cause
Yeah.
a lot of cynicism and
So meaning to say, MJ, you need constant stimulation.
Yes,
So
constant
that,
intellectual stimulation is the main cornerstone of mental health.
yes,
for
so
us.
that parang nagkakaroon ka ng pressure pagka nandyan ka dun sa environment ng isang traditional school. Tama?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, si Joshua, tanungin ko rin. In school, kunyari mo yung mga materials that are being shown to you, repetitious, ano yun, yung boredom ba, paano ba yung boredom na, ang pakiramdam mo dun sa boredom? Is it painful? Is it like parang, ba't ako nandito, ganon? How does it feel pagka nasa trad school ka?
I've sat in po in schools for days, and one time I sat in, nagbigay po sila ng exam. So, nakita ko po yung exam. Ginagawa ko to po yun nung bata pa po ako, baka 7 or less. Yung ganun. So, hindi naman yung boredom, hindi naman siya painful na parang, ay, nasisira na po ako ng ulo or something. Yung gusto ko nang umalis. Hindi naman ganun po, parang, I've already done this, why am I doing this again? Ganun po yung
Ayun.
answer ko po.
So para bang that kind of challenge, iniisip mo, bakit ganito, why am I here? This environment does not fit kung ano yung aking kakayanan. Tama ba, MJ?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. So, ngayon, is that the reason, Doc Pietro, na pinull out mo sa trad school si Joshua and then nag-homeschool ka?
Yes po, kasi yung isipin niyo po, kunyari po yung swan. Swan na pinanganak sa, nire-raise sa mga among ducklings. Ducks. Ngayon, pwede siya lumipad, tapos yung clipping wings niya.
Okay.
Ano kayang frustration na nung swan na yon, na hindi siya makalipad, pero ang nature niya is to fly. Hindi siya duck eh. Yung sinabi ni Joshua na sa forum, we just had a forum with Miss Connie, na yung, ano ba yung story mo, Joshua? Yung isang
There was a
Prodigy?
may math prodigy po na, nakita ko po sa book. Para lang siya footnote po, isipin nyo na lang.
Mhm.
Nagbibilang po siya na same hairs po sa likod ng cow's tail.
Mhm.
So, grabe po, farmer lang po siya, he died in poverty. Namatay lang po siyang farmer. Hindi na,
Pero math
hindi-
prodigy.
Math prodigy po siya. Tinatanong-tanong po siya ng mga math problems, ang bilis na po magkasagot. Pero namatay lang po siyang ganun.
So, kumbaga, ito yung mga rason na pag hindi nabibigyang pansin
Yes,
yung mga
opo.
giftedness nitong mga batang ito, nasasayang lang.
And frustration po nila.
Okay, balik ako kay Doc Sig. Ay, Doc ako ng Doc. Kay Prof. Baka naman doktor ka na rin. Baka may juris doctor ka na rin.
Soon.
Soon. Ayan, okay. Prof. Sig, okay. Alam, syempre kayo, no, inaaral ninyo itong mga ganitong klaseng talento ng mga gifted children. How do you approach them? Kasi sabi nga natin, they need a specific kind of learning traction, kumbaga, na dapat mas advance ito kaysa dun sa mga ordinaryong estudyante. Paano nyo, how is it ba yung ibinibigay yung mga lessons na nakaka-adapt sila dun sa, or kayo mismo nakaka-adapt dun sa bilis ng kanilang pag-iisip?
Actually, medyo may pressure din, some sort of pressure, kasi
Kasi mas magaling sila sa'yo.
they might be. and,
Okay.
and then, syempre, I need to put something sa kanila. Kailangan magkaroon ako ng input or dagdag sa kanila. And ang iniisip ko lang is, syempre, marami na rin akong students na na-encounter and they have different learning abilities.
Mhm.
And each one of them is kailangan ng different interventions.
Okay.
So, ang ginawa ko naman kay Joshua is, okay, advance,
Mhm.
pang college yung approach, but iniisip ko pa rin yung age niya.
Okay.
So, at the same time. So,
Do
you
you
need
treat
to...
him na parang, oh, special itong batang ito, gifted ito? Does he feel na parang he's different in the way you teach him sa mga lessons niya?
Actually,
I-treat mo ba siya na, oh, si Joshua to, sandali, dapat iba yung treatment ko sa kanya? How do you do it?
actually, ang approach ko sa kanya is college standard,
Mhm.
college lesson. So, kung paano ko i-deliver yung lesson ko sa mga college students,
Mhm.
yun yung ina-apply ko sa kanya.
Okay.
So, para pag nakarating siya doon sa level na yun, pag
Mhm.
dumating na siya ng college, balang araw, alam niya na kung ano yung i-expect niya.
Okay. Prof, sa'yo ko siguro ito tatanong kasi you're a professor and mas nakakaalam ka doon sa psikolohiya, itong mga batang ito. May tinatawag sila yung over-excitability na kung minsan, di ba, mayroon yung akala nila may AHD, tama ba yung AHD, yan, whatever. Okay. Basta yun na yun. Okay. And then also yung mga, ano ba yung isa, yung may autism, pero they are so brilliant in doing something. Paano nyo po yun kinokorrelate dito sa pag-aaral itong mga batang ito? Kasi baka mamaya nag-fidget siya, di ba? Maraming ganyan di ba? Marami silang mga actuations na minsan na ano natin, na misinterpret natin, na kakulangan sa kanilang personality.
Actually, ang ginagawa ko lang is kapag halimbawa malapit ng lumiko yung lesson, yung pinag-uusapan. So, dinadirect ko agad doon sa kung saan dapat kami papunta.
Okay.
Kasi baka mamay maubos yung oras namin or what, or baka maiba na yung topic namin. And I really feel yun kay Joshua, for example. Yung excited, yung pagiging excited niya doon sa lesson. And natutuwa ako doon sa excitement na yun. Kasi yun din yung hinahanap ko actually sa mga ordinary students ko.
Okay.
Yung excited sila. But if overexcited, madalas is pwede kang pumunta doon sa point na baka mamaya mali na yung sinasabi mo or
Okay.
nandun na tayo sa mali. So,
Kumbaga parang
we need to correct that.
ayaw na niyang makinig kasi...
Hindi naman.
Ganon.
Hindi naman siya.
Alright.
Miss Connie, if I may
Yes.
ask si Professor Signo, if you're giving Joshua the the materials of college na, what happens pagka nasa college na si Joshua and he will encounter the same material na binigay mo na pala when he was much younger. So, hindi na siya mati-challenge kaya pagdating niya doon? Or mabobore siya lalo?
Well, it would be better if we ask Joshua.
Can I
Yeah, sige,
interject
go.
po na?
Pietro, okay.
Kasi po, yun pong, kunyari, sana makasama natin si Sir Melvin na mentor ni Joshua sa chemistry. So, si Sir Melvin, according to Sir Melvin, he's taught in DLSU and UST for almost a decade yata in total, no? Pero ngayon, he's working in a chemical company. According to him, yung level na materials sinaro ni Joshua is for second year college DS Chem major
Okay.
na chemistry, organic and
Present day ito, Doctor.
Present day ito.
Okay, okay.
sabi ko kay Joshua, okay, mag-take ka ng course sa US, online course. So, nag-online course po siya for first sem sa Harvard.
Okay.
Harvard ba? MIT. MIT. MIT level, yung first chapter, meron na po siyang hindi nasagutan.
Oh, okay.
So, meron pang iakyat. Tapos, yun naman redundant, sabi ni Sir J, magkatukayo kami. So, when I was a student, I was not also studying my lessons kasi kaya ko siya hindi nag-aaral. Up
So,
to college.
sinasabi mo, ano ka rin, gifted.
Not as gifted as them. Kala ko,
Wala namang masama, di ba?
tapos umabot ako sa med school po, kaya nakaka-perfect sila at ako ay pumapasa lang. I found out, naging kaibigan ko yung mga magagaling sa amin, sila pala, meron good study habits kasi more guided by the system and parents. Tapos ano pala, ganun pala yung sekreto para maging top sa mga ganun na courses.
Okay.
Dapat, nadaanan mo na, riripasuhan mo na lang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
advance. No?
Advanced learning na pala ang sekreto para mag-top sa mga courses like yung PhD, mga
Okay.
MD and everything.
Let us ask Joshua, no? Anong feeling mo nung meron kang mga hindi nasasagot? Nung, di ba, sabi mo, you took online classes sa MIT. Yeah. What was the feeling na, meron din pala akong hindi alam?
That's good. I think that's good.
Okay.
And again, meron pa pala po akong matutunan, tsaka at least natutunan ko po yan. Yung, meron po doon yung if I need to go to the specifics, yung quantum mechanics. First lesson pa lang po may quantum mechanics. So, that was good for me. I love that. Yung may quantum mechanics kagad po.
So, what does that tell you, Prof. Sig, na may room pa for improvement, something like that?
Yes, that's always true. Kasi marami pa tayong pwedeng malaman about everything, about our universe. So, if doon sila dalhin, ng curiosity nila, then it would be good. Kasi marami pa tayong pwedeng matutunan. Hindi lang sa four corners ng college. Kung hindi, kapag labas nila ng college, marami pa silang pwedeng matutunan.
Pero hindi ba dapat, Prof. Sig, na mayroong structure yung pinag-aaralan niya so that, kunyari mo, if he wants to study, say for instance, he wants to become a doctor or a surgeon, di ba dapat may continuity yung ganon? So, anong nangyayari pagka yung punta ka dito, punta ka doon, punta ka dyan? Yeah, he knows it because genius nga sila, no? Pero di ba dapat may structure po yung kanilang pag-aaral?
Actually, maganda po yung question. Actually, napag-usapan po namin ni Joshua and with this dad, yung thing na yan. And ang sabi ko lang kay Joshua is, explore mo lang lahat. Okay, the biology, chemistry, the maths, physics, sciences, no? And then, it's up to you. After that, after learning all of these things, ikaw bahala kung saan
Then
mo
he gets
gusto.
to decide.
Yes, kasi gano'n naman talaga dapat. If kung saan gustong pumunta ng bata, dun dapat siya.
Okay. Yeah, please, go ahead.
So, I think, tama po yun, na pwede pong, pero I don't think na kailangan mag-pick lang ng isa. Kasi pwedeng, pag nalaman ko po, let's say, may physics, may chemistry, pwedeng may biology, pwedeng lahat po yun i-integrate into some future, some direction po na lahat nagamit naman po. Hindi naman po yung parang nasayang ako na mag-aral ng chemistry, pwede pala ako may chemist. Hindi naman po ganun. Ma-apply po lahat, all the sciences are intertwined.
Yeah,
Ganun
okay.
po.
MJ, ikaw isa ng BS Biology, right?
Yes.
Biologist, I mean. So, what made you decide itong kurso na to? Mayroon bang nagsabi sa'yo na ito trajectory ng pag-aaral mo papunta dito, or was it your own decision? Ba't yun ang napili mo?
Well, I chose it myself. Originally, I wanted to be an engineer of sorts. But as I learned more about biology, chemistry, I decided that I can use the same exact thought processes on a more complex form of machinery.
Okay.
So, I just chose the most intellectually stimulating path in life that I can
Okay.
think of that's accessible to me.
Okay.
So, hopefully next year I'll get into medicine.
Okay. Ang question ko sa'yo, you were in a traditional school, right? UP Baguio. Tama?
Well,
So, how did you take that? Kasi nga, yung speed ng learning mo is different from that of an average student. So, how did you cope?
well, I was about to want to revert back to the original point of it's about regarding redundancies, seeing the same lesson again, like what my dad said. It's about choosing between two evils.
Oh.
Do you want a kid that is 15, 16 years old, still growing, his mind and emotions are still developing, but is bored out of his mind in a normal high school? Or you get a 20-year-old who is more emotionally mature, bored, but he understands why he is bored.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, ang question ko lang is ganito, no? Siguro sagutin ito ng daddy, no? Ni Sir Jasper. My question here is, because you have this gifted son, right? Paano bang pakiramdam na maybe when he was 10, yung emotions niya would be like 18, something like that? Ganun po ba? So, paano yun? Siyempre, paano yung peers niya? Siyempre, ang mga kalaro niya, kung 10 siya, dapat ang kanyang environment, kasama niya, mga kaedad niya. Paano niyo po yung in-adjust?
Yes, actually when we had that observation that MJ thinks differently, and actually we can converse with him like an adult, even maliit pa siya, no? So we can have active discussions within the family, mga comments namin, mga criticisms namin about what's happening around. Kaya maganda po, we can talk to him, level po, not treating him as a small boy, no, that time. And actually po, homeschooled din kami.
Oh, okay.
From elementary to high school. Junior high, yes.
Only in SHS and college where I got reinserted back into the normal track.
I see.
Grade
Okay.
11 na lang po siya sa Don Bosco ba?
Yes, because of the transition going to college, we are preparing for that. That's why he transitioned from homeschooled. When he reached the senior level high, binalik namin sila sa traditional schools.
Okay. Ang question ko, no, if you can answer any two, no?
Yes.
Kung ikaw, Doc, or si Sir Jasper. Ano ba yung first thing na napansin mo kay MJ nung bata siya that made you feel na, oh, itong anak ko, kakaiba ito matalino to Ano po yung mga senyales na napansin niyo?
Firstly po, fast learner siya.
Okay.
No? We provided him with a lot of books. Ang bilis siya magbasa. Itong si Joshua. Even yung brother niya, Joshua din po pangalan. Pag pupunta nga kami sa mall, pabili din po siya ng book. No? By the time na lumabas sila ng mall, tapos na po yung book.
Really?
Nabasa na nila.
Talaga?
Oo,
How
kaya
fast
gusto-
can you read one book?
Depends on speed reading.
Ito yung mga Harry Potter books.
Yes,
no?
yes.
My reading speed, if I'm taking my time to enjoy it, I could finish something like The Lord of the Rings in 3 days. But if I go maximum speed, just give me 1 day and
Talaga?
I could do it all.
Ikaw naman, Doc, at paano mo naman nakita na, oh, si Joshua.
Ganun din po. Bali, fast learner si Joshua, no? So, nakita ko nung 10 months old po siya, I was trying to review sana gusto mag-board exam sa abroad. Tapos, every time we pass by dito sa batang hindi pa nagsasalita, hindi pa naglalakad, Joshua, apple, or Tapos may book kaming binigay sa kanya, fruits and vegetables. One time, we tested him. At 10 months old, hindi nagbabasa,
10 months?
Yes po, hanapin po yung page. Gagano na siya.
And then,
Tama.
Talaga?
65 or 67 items. It was really identified.
really?
So sabi ko, iba to ah. I thought my memory was gifted already. Sabi ko, memory lang ba to?
May photographic memory ka?
Oo. Magaling-galing na po ako sa among my peers,
Yes.
sa the boss ko, tsaka sa mga family namin. Pero,
Is even more...
ito mas magaling. So, I started stimulating him. Parang sinasabi ni Sir Jasper,
So, anong
Fast
pakiramdam
learner.
doon, you and your wife? Anong pakiramdam doon na, oh my God, hindi ka ba natakot? Hindi ka ba na-surprise?
opo, kasi sabi ko, I was praying for an adventure in life na yun hindi ko pa nasubukan ever. Sabi ko, God, ito ba yung bibigyan mo sa akin? Hindi ko alam to. Sabi ko, no?
Yeah,
Kala ko, alam ko na everything about kids, pero
this is different.
this different. Binigyan talaga ako ng another challenge.
Okay. Ako talaga naman, this is really very fascinating. But before that, mag-commercial break po muna tayo. And when we return, we'll move to step 2, the systemic failure. Ayan. Balikan po namin kayo. We'll be right back. Commercial muna.
Let's make life beautiful. Let's make life meaningful. It's a beautiful life. A beautiful life.
Okay. Ayan, balik tayo muli dito sa ating program. It's a Beautiful Life. Connie Lopez. And of course, we have with us today Joshua, ang ating gifted child. And of course, si MJ. At kasama yung kanilang mga daddy. At si Prof. Sig. Ayan. Okay, to continue, we will try to showcase Joshua's and MJ's unique genius and explain exactly why our resource-starved education system is structurally incapable of meeting these needs. Ayan. Alam mo, okay, kasi kanina pinag-usapan natin, paano nyo nakita, napansin na genius itong mga anak ninyo. Okay. Sabi ni Doc kanina, si Doc Pietro, ba't Doc Pietro ang tawag ko sa'yo? J na lang?
Pwede po, Pietro
Okay.
yan.
Doc Pietro, para maiba dun sa J ni
Yes, po.
Joshua. Okay, si Doc Pietro, na 10 months pa lang si Joshua, nagbabasa na daw siya. And, na-surprise ka, di ba? And then, kay kay MJ, nagbabasa na rin siya ng encyclopedia. Am I right?
Yes, tama po.
Ilang taon nung nag-start siya magbasa ng encyclopedia naman?
All to like that. 9
9, okay. So yun ang kanilang mga yun ang kanilang focus, di ba?
Yes po.
Alright. Ngayon, sige. Explain mo nga sa akin, when you saw that, ano yung automatic nyo pong ginawa para ma-enhance or matulungan ninyo si MJ? Kasi, syempre, super genius yung anak mo and you feel... Oh, by the way po, si Sir Jasper is a researcher sa PhilRice po.
Yes,
diba?
po.
You are an agricultural engineer.
Yes, I am.
Designing
Agricultural machinery.
agricultural machinery. So,
Opo.
si Daddy rin, magaling,
Opo.
scientist din, oo.
Yes.
So, anyway, ano pong ginawa nila?
But we keep on stimulating po itong mga bata, itong mga anak namin. Often we bring them to science museums. Di po namin pinapalampas for them to explore these science museums. Na punta kami sa Japan and we talaga particularly go to science museums. Then sa US naman po kami, when we were in California, pinasok din namin yung science centrum nila doon. Talagang we let the boys explore and learn about itong mga advanced setups nila doon on science.
So, anong nangyari? Kunyari, nakita niya itong sinasabi mong advanced setups na
Yes
ito.
po.
Anong sinabi ni MJ sa'yo? Ano
They
yung-
really enjoyed it. They want to stay for a long time and still view the exhibits there.
And
Yeah.
talk with the curators.
And talk with the curator and
Uh-huh.
even correct, sila pa nagko-correct minsan ng mga teachers. How many times are there in the smart system? Sabihin ng teacher, 9. No, it's 8. It's like that. Pinicorrect yun po. And they have discussions with yan po, a lot
Ikaw,
of people.
Pietro.
Simple. In mental stimulation is very important kasi that is what makes him happy.
Yes.
So yun, ano po, yun kami, every little thing, kanyang mga museums, we keep on bringing him sa mga museums, tsaka sa, ano po, hindi lang sa science eh. Kami pupunta kami sa mga ancestral houses, and everything. Pero, sabi ko kay Joshua, everything kanya sa labas lang po namin, may bulate. O kaya, yung sa pagka naiiba yung sky ng konti, oh, Joshua, look at this.
Okay.
Ito yung pinag-aralan natin. Ba't kaya ganito yung kulay ng sky and everything? We try to connect yung theory with reality.
Okay, Joshua, anong niisip mo during those times na, alam mo yun, ini-introduce sa'yo yung environment, surroundings mo, and everything?
Everything. Ano yung pumapasok sa utak mo noon?
Sometimes kasi I see yung ano pa yung sky po, ano siya lasing purple. Inisip ko pa ba't ganun? Hindi ko na pa parang ang ganda ng sky ah. Inisip ko na pa ang ganda ng sky, ano kaya nangyari dito. Kaya yung mga worms po. Oh, fascinating. I've just seen this for the first time by my life. So, ganda po.
Ano yung ginawa mo? I mean, kinulit mo ba si daddy mo na, Dad, I need to study the worm? Something like that. Or
Minsan ko pa Google ko ba kung bakit.
Anong edad mo noon?
I don't know pa, parang bata rin po ako. Minsan, when I was really young pa, sinasabi, dinadala po ako, bubuhatin po ako, titignan po sa stars. Na yun po yung one of the only memories ko po nung
Tsaka
young
ano
po ako.
we bought him like a library
Oh.
sa bahay. We spent quite some of money. Meron siyang library sa bahay po na kahit anong subject, arts and sciences.
So talagang
maths.
nag-immerse siya dun sa
Yes,
pag-aaral.
yes,
And you
yes,
did the
yes.
same too.
Yes, we did. Yeah,
Okay,
we bought a set of encyclopedias plus other science books, illustration books, everything that we can.
But they're lucky, ano, because they have parents like you who can afford.
We can say that we
diba?
are lucky
Uh-huh.
that we managed to get hold of these materials.
You were about to say something, MJ.
To anyone listening in who thinks that you need a lot of money to buy books and go to museums to keep your kids intellectually stimulated, on the contrast, every day was a learning experience for us. When we are cutting vegetables, my mom would say, "Did you know the potato is a modified stem? It's not a root."
Yes, exactly same.
And when we break
Yes.
our toys, instead of just crying and buying a new one, Dad here would give us a soldering iron and a multimeter, and it turns into an electronics lesson.
Wow, galing.
Talaga.
And
So, meaning to say, nasa perspektibo mo yun, di ba, on how to approach ang isang bagay. And at that stage, na batang-bata ka pa, parang kaya mo ng, alam mo yun, imagination ba yun? Or is it something na nasa utak mo talaga na kaya mo siyang gawin? Paano mo yun kasi kung bata ka pa lang, ano, I mean, you tinker with stuff, like, kunyari, a broken toy, paano mo ni step-step na ginagawa yan?
well, at first I have a
Anong
lot of
pumapasok anong naglalaro sa isip mo noon?
well, a lot of unrealistic expectations, and as I keep on going trial and error, breaking things, I start to learn what works and what doesn't, and I carry those lessons over to the next toy I break and fix.
Ano yun? you get to analyze, pag pala ito nasira dito, dapat. Pero di ba normal lang naman yon? I mean,
Yes.
common sense yun
Of
di ba?
course.
So, paano mo yun, anong tawag mo dito? Paano mo yun itinahi doon sa sinasabi nilang genius, yung mga ginagawa mong ito?
Well,
One time, one of my toys broke, and while fixing it, I recalled something I read from the engineering section in the encyclopedia about structural integrity. And at a young age, I cobbled together a splint, a brace to fix the internals of that toy. So it's more of my ability to synthesize knowledge from a lot of different sources. Another one I drew from my biology knowledge to fix something with along the lines of biomimicry.
Talaga, what is biomimicry?
Just
Ano ginagaya
imitating,
mo? Ano ginagaya mo?
just imitating what animals do,
Oh,
the
okay.
way their anatomy is structured, and okay, I can apply it to this particular robot, and hey, it works.
Oh, so ganun siguro yung yung idea no doon nagmumula.
Yes.
Okay, Joshua, before we talk to Dean Alex because he's already on the line. Ikaw naman, ano yung experience mo nung bata ka na up to now parang kahapon lang ito nangyari.
Kung meron po akong isang experience na I think may nakita po akong yung alam niyo po yung swatter. Yung pang ng mosquito.
Yes.
So may nasira po siya, nakita ko yun. Yung may circuit board sa loob. Nakita ko po, I just read some few days ago yung kulay doon, yung yung band sa resistors. Tsaka yung mga capacitor, didok na yung basta yung mga maliit na stuff doon sa circuits. Ginawa ko yung ginawa ko lang po yung simple calculation na po sa isang part nun. And it worked, so isip ko ang ganda pala ng yung very delicate yung engineering kasi yung sa sky naman po, wow! Yung ganitong oras na nagkaroon ng pollution, yung naging medyo blue yung moon, na-explain nung natutunan ko po. I can see it in real life. Ang ganda po sa akin. I find it beautiful.
So everything parang nagkakaroon ng explanation. Kasi because ako kasi syempre, hindi naman ako ganun ka-gifted, nakagaya ninyo, no? I just see things na simple, yung parang common sense lang naman kami, di ba? Unlike you, parang you dive deep into whatever it is siguro, tapos yung sort of analyze it in your brain. Tama ba ako doon? Ganun ba yung ginagawa ninyo? Ano pa, kuminsan kasi I wanna try to,
Put yourself.
yeah, ano kayang nasa isip mo, kagaya mo, iho? Anong nasa...
Pwede po ako magpindagdag na.
Yeah, sige.
Mabilis lang po.
Ah,
So, just the other day lang po, I don't know, kailan ba? Parang just recently, nakita ko po yung moon full po siya. Malaki siya eh. And then I realized ko, but why is the moon full? Bigla lang, at some point in my, yung logic ko pa, na-realize ko, the moon cannot possibly be totally full or else, it would be yung sun,
Visible.
nandun siya sa earth. Dapat total lunar eclipse po, diba?
Oo.
Pero na-realize ko, so it can't be possibly full. And I research nga po, tama kasi nakaganon, may konting pa-diagonal yung shadow. The moon is not there sa mismong end ng earth. So, yung mas simpleng bagay lang po why the moon can be full. Na-explain ko nga po. Naisip ko yan na ponder about ko po.
Ayan. Okay. Anyway, seg muna tayo because Dean Alex is on the line. Magandang hapon po. Please welcome to our program, It's a Beautiful Life, Dean Alex. Magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon po.
Yes.
Lahat.
Can we have Dean Alex on the screen as well?
Hello po, Dean Alex.
Yeah, si Dean Alex Balsobo po. He is the Dean of the Western Visayas State University, and also his expertise is in higher mathematics. Si Dean Alex po, siya yung isa sa mga mentors ni Joshua. Hi, Dean Alex. Bumati po kayo sa ating mga nanonood ngayong hapong ito.
Hapon po sa lahat at marami po salamat sa paunlak po ito to be able to share with you ang mga insights na I have learned working with Joshua and especially for those drivers din as well po. Magandang hapon po.
Yes. Hindi ba natin pwede makita sa screen si Dean Alex? Dean Alex, ano pong ginagamit nyo? Cellphone lang or... phone. Okay. So, naka-phone lang pala si Dean Alex. Anyway, ang tanong ko po sa inyo, kanina pa ho kami nag-uusap dito at pinag-uusapan namin how our curriculum po dito sa Pilipinas pagdating sa edukasyon, they fail to provide our gifted children with an education befitting of their intellectual prowess. Bakit po kaya ganon, Dean Alex? Why is it that the majority of our public education inadequate po para sa ating mga gifted na children. Kasi kawawa naman po, it's not just that. Talagang, ano sa palagay mo, Dean, ang rason?
Maraming salamat po, ma'am, for the question. Isang possibility, kasi malaking possibility dahil hindi na ipipilito yung mga pangangailangan at hindi na na-identify yung mga gifted natin sa buong Pilipinas. At ipipilito natin naka-kapunta at naka-structure sa mga estudyante in general. Yung ito on sabihin lang natin ang average intelligence. So then, yung ka na mag-identify kung meron bang mga gifted among the population. So, kung hindi na nakaka-advance yung mga kabataan ito, and they are used to the general population, pero actually, naka-structure na sa ganun level. Hindi naman na, hindi nila basic institution, hindi nila high education. Please have to follow guidelines, policy, and they are bound na susundin ito. Kasi hindi mga usual na pinag-aaralan ng mga eksperto sila hindi sa ano ang appropriate nyo sa ganitong age level ng susundin sa kanila after what topics can be covered sa ganitong mga age level as well. Pero hindi doon na-identify kung meron bang mga kabataan na mas advanced. Kaya hindi ito kapatid hindi natin, it may be expensive to really have a need for the future, and it's quite a big sana our government to have accessible tools. Kasi sila tumulong natin, magiging pag-asa ng bayan natin,
Correct.
mga bagong technology, yung mga knowledge, na kung saan magagamit din natin in the future.
I want to ask this question, what about po yung mga teachers natin? Do they have that kind of training para i-tackle or turuan itong ating mga gifted children? Kasi kung wala ang training, paano na yun?
Opo, tama po yun. Yun ang alam ko lang po na natatanggap natin, especially under yung special education program. For them to be able to think kung anong gagawin para maisipin sila yung na kailangan nila to be able to really advance and tackle. Pero actually, yung advancement talaga ng mga factor. Sabihin na lang po natin. Pero I think hindi na tayo ito. Hindi ko yung dati na kita na niyan ng panahon na tinuturuan tayo sa student of science, sa biology, chemistry, physics. Ngayon nakakombine na kaya and many of our teachers are not that trained in all of these areas. So, when there are students na kung saan magkakaroon pala, may mga advances ng alam, yung teacher in the person, yun ang natin ko yung estudyante na yan. Because in fact, the teacher herself na training biology, but not necessarily in physics or in chemistry. So, kaya nga, to grow our course right now na sana ibabalik ng mga discipline-based area, especially in the sciences. Kasi, ang teacher mismo, hindi na naman yung specific areas of science, supposed to be sana na manasa ko rin.
Okay, I'll allow you, meron kang question kay Dean Alex about what's going on. Kasi sabi nga niya, lack of training ng teachers mismo. So,
Dean Alex, isang na-experience namin when we were in the US, meron silang parang sinusunod na protocol to identify kung isang bata ba ay gifted or not. Ngayon, kung gifted itong bata, meron din silang procedures doon na hinihiwalay ang bata sa classroom.
Okay.
For example, reading. Ang mga klase ng anak ko, A, B, C. Samantalang anak ko, they can read paragraphs na.
Already.
They could understand. So,
Yeah.
hinihiwalay sila sa, sa main class during that period. Sa atin po ba dito sa Pilipinas, meron bang ganun na may guided by ating mga teachers to identify gifted children? Tapos kung gifted sila, alam nila kung anong gagawin po specifically?
Well, according, yes, Dinalex, please answer the question.
Thank you po sa pag-nagap. Sorry po, I'm not working directly with the basic education.
Alex, can you please, excuse me lang po, yung volume po ng ating pakilakasan ng konti.
Okay pa. I hope you can hear right now po. Currently po, I'm not working directly to the basic education sector, but have been communicating with several teachers on this. The only way to be able to identify them po is, of course, to the current assessment na natatanggap nila. And then they are being suggested to try mga special science classes para doon makakatanggap sila talaga ng training in a more advanced level kaysa na kasama sila sa junior or senior high school. Pero sa current setup po natin, dati, it was only, ang alam natin yon, we are group on a homogeneous level, meaning yung mga magagaling na mga estudyante ay nilalagay sa section 1 at section 2, and then maybe those students that need more attention because of maybe kailangan ng mga areas na need to be satisfied are grouped together on different sets of sections po.
Can we categorically say po, Dean Alex, itong mga estudyante sa mga, say, Philippine Science High School, talaga bang ito'y nasala at talaga bang masasabi natin na these are the best of the best?
I've been working with some of these students. I think that they're doing a good job. In fact, they are prepared to be able to sila yung college level na mga report, may mga courses na kakayanin na po nila.
Okay. Can we say also na nandun na sila sa kategorya ng pagiging genius? Kasi I need to understand, kasi saan pupunta po itong mga kagaya nila Joshua, kung ang learning natin, even dito sa mga special science high schools na ito, I don't know, kulang ba siya o enough ba siya? Kayo po makakapagsabi, Dean Alex.
Alright, maraming salamat po sa question. I think sa cases po ng mga genius level ng mga students, na-experience directly kay Joshua. Again, back to Joshua, tama ako, almost 15 years na rin I did ng teaching in mga college level mathematics, including po algebra, that's grade 15, natuturuan ko rin po siya ng probability theory kasi sabi ni Pietro and Joshua, they want to see also na sana may application in mathematics. Sabi ko, running best application, both in probability theory, and then right now we are on the topic of the application mathematics through differential equations. So ito yung mga topics na po, we are college level topics na hindi po siya kahit sa mga science, hindi po siya natuturo. So pero sa level po nila kids o ni Joshua, nakikita ko talaga na yung brain niya, natutuwa yung how to do the calculations, mga analytics na binibigay ko sa kanya, nagagawa niya. That is on the level na much more advanced than yung teaching on high school. So, when we talk about yung Joshua po parang experimental, kasi hindi ko rin alam how to start with things. Sabi ko, I started with components on how they would understand mathematics, especially na two areas yung important two areas ng mathematics, algebra, geometry, and analysis. tinitignan ko kung suited na to sa kanya o hindi. And I was amazed with Joshua na hindi nila yan, ikukuha na rin ibig sabihin nito. And I'm hoping in the future that these tools na namin from me be able to help her into wherever kung ano yung issues na kukunin mo po in college.
Okay. So, yung sinabi mo, Jean Alex, it only solidify the fact na talagang kulang at wala talagang pupuntahan itong ating mga genuine or gifted children sa Pilipinas. Kasi from your own words, sinasabi mo nga, even though itong nasa mga Philippine Science High School students, hindi pa rin sila, kung i-qualify mo sila, mas malayo pa rin, nakakaangat pa rin yung mga kagaya ni Joshua na gifted at saka ni MJ.
Tama po ma'am. Okay, and I'm hoping that there will be special classes and more training schools that will be available for free to really be able to take their needs po.
Okay, may question lang ako kay Prof. Sig, Kasi sinasabi natin, kasi ito Philippine Science High School na nga to, hindi pa rin makakope sa mga geniuses nitong kagaya ni Joshua at ni MJ, Ano ba yung instructional need ng mga public school teachers natin, Prof. Sig, na hindi equipped sila to deliver or to cater to geniuses like MJ or Joshua?
Kasi pa nagtrabaho din po sa public school, sa DepEd, and ang pinaka-training po nila doon is how to deliver the lesson, the pedagogy itself. But yung kulang sa kanila is yung training doon sa mismong subject na tinuturo nila, the fundamentals of this of the lessons. Kasi madalas doon sila nagkakamali, madalas doon sila nalilito, and katunayan nga po niyan doon sa yung ASEP. And
What is ASEP?
Yung Asian Science Science and Mathematics training. And ang ginagawa po namin doon is we train the teachers sa DepEd to teach students na possible maging gifted or gifted kasi they are studying science and math at a younger age. So, and then tinitraining namin sila on the fundamentals kasi yun yung kulang sa kanila.
Okay. Yes, Dean Alex, you want to say something?
Wala naman po. The teaching naman po talaga, part of the training of the teachers, especially from their degree programs like Bachelor of Education, Bachelor of Elementary Education, Bachelor of Secondary Education, normally parang ano po yun, one is how they will be teaching. So they learn pedagogy, psychology of education, its philosophy. And the other one is yung subject matter talaga. And the teacher themselves, actually, yung kaya lang talaga na may tutulong nila is yung general needs of the students in specific areas. Then when it comes now to genius level, ng mga kabataan, maybe they need more training on how to be able to handle them all.
Okay. May question ako, anybody can answer this? Ay, hindi. Ito muna question ko. Is this the reason kaya, di ba before, or today, ang Pilipinas, when it comes to education, parang kulela tayo, di ba? Yung critical thinking ng mga estudyante, wala. Tapos, we are very poor in English, very poor in mathematics, science, and all. So, ano kaya ang rason nito? Is it the teachers or yung klase ng turo din nila? Kasi how can I blame them kung yun naman talaga yung pinatuturo? Di ba yung syllabus na tinatawag? Yes,
Yes, actually we cannot really blame yung mga teachers, but the system itself. Kasi they have this structure and called the syllabus or core syllabus. And kailangan nila matapos yun within a very short amount of time without really explaining yung mga lessons in depth.
Yes.
Kasi mauubos yung oras nila if they really explain this. Or sa isang banda naman, pwedeng hindi talaga nila alam kung paano i-explain pa in depth yung mga lessons. So, dalawa lang yun.
So are you telling us na ang sistema ng ating edukasyon is not really that it does not defeat, kumbaga, doon sa pangangailangan ng Filipino student?
Yes, marami pong students na matalino.
Okay.
And hindi sila nasusupply ng tamang knowledge kasi ang goal lang ng teacher is to finish
Ayun.
the subject within the frame of time.
Okay.
Tapos, pag natapos na, and then, okay, ipasa natin siya, then move to the next level.
Okay, you were about to say something.
Yes po, nanginigil po yung No Child Left Behind policy.
Yes, oo.
Alam mo bata o hindi, kailangan ipasa siya sa level na yun.
Okay.
Tama. Sa grade level na yun. And we have encountered really some students. Imagine, grade 6, grade 7, di pa marunong yung mathematics.
Even grade 11.
2 times 3, di pa
Really?
Iba yun po. Meron pa kung hindi marunong magbasa.
In fact, I have engineering students that
Ayan.
they do not know how to solve algebra
Talaga.
or solve
Yes.
fractions, worst case scenario. So it's really
Alarming na po.
Okay.
If I may add, kasi I teach online kids sa Philippines o sa US and Canada. So, ang sinasabi ko sa parents, ay matuturo, sabi ko ang background ko is science. But I can also teach mathematics or kung ano man yung papatulong ninyo. It's not the content. So, mga basic education is not the content. Sabi nga ni Einstein po, education is not the accumulation of facts. In the digital age not like right now, isang click na lang andyan yung information. Si Joshua, hindi ko na kailangan ni kasi mag-e-books, marami available. Wikipedia and everything, resources marami. Ang kailangan is to teach them how to think. Ang sabi ni kay Einstein, education is not the accumulation of facts, but it's
How?
is teaching kids how to think.
Yeah, okay.
critical thinking.
Critical thinking ang importante. So, ang ginagawa ko po, kung ako sa teaching ko, nagtuturo ako, tinuturo ko sila mag-isip. Sabi ko, ang focus nila hindi lang teachers kasi po, yung syllabus hindi ng system, pati parents. Gusto nila magka-diploma yung anak nila para magkatrabaho. Hindi yun. Sabi ko, hindi. Ang importante dyan, matulungan natin mag-isip, kahit na mathematics ang tinuturo ko, maa-apply niya yung sa sciences. So sa arts, or whatever na gusto niyang endeavor.
So kung babalikan ko yung sinabi ni Prof. Singh, parang parrot learning,
Yes po.
Parang ganun.
Yes.
Kasi parang you need to memorize this without necessarily understanding ano yung memorize mo. So again, yung comprehension is very poor. Okay. Mayroon akong isang tanong kay Joshua, how do you think na itong paraan ng meron tayo ngayon? Siyempre, I'm sure you read a lot of books. I don't know if your dad allows you to, to
Yes, alam po.
allow ba siya mag-explore
Yes.
ng iba-ibang class.
Yes.
Yung kaganapan dito sa ating bansa, I'm sure you're aware of it, Ano tingin mo? I mean, hindi ko alam. Anong edad na ba supposed to be ngayong araw na to si Joshua? He may be 16, pero intellectually, he's
Like kay NJ po, sinabi ni Sir Jasper, we talked to him even when he was young,
like an adult.
He could
Okay.
understand, you can, sa bahay po namin lagi kami nagbabalitaktaran,
Okay.
intellectually. So, you
So,
can
sige nga, ikaw magsabi, Joshua. I am talking to ilang taon ngayon si Joshua.
Actually, in my opinion po, hindi naman necessarily na, kumbaga, I'm the brain of that 20-year-old. Hindi naman ganun po. Kasi
Okay.
sa online, basta I don't really know if sabihin na, you're actually 20, that's not possible na mas younger ka. Pero that doesn't matter po. Minsan, makakusap ko pa yung mga adults na po, para sa forum po.
Yes.
Pero minsan, hindi naman. Minsan, I can talk to my peers, but it's fine. I can change yung ano ko pa yung, gusto ko pa sabihin, yung how I act. I can also change that. It's not na parang bigla nang I'm mind ko po mas matanda na hindi na ako makababa sa peers ko po.
So, you mean adaptable ka?
Yes, ako.
Uh-huh. Sorry, MJ.
Code switching.
Yes.
Okay.
Code switching, yes.
Oh, okay. So you can be a 10-year-old boy or somebody who's 30 years old. That depends kung sino kausap, I suppose.
Yes, at the flick of a switch.
And that's the advantage actually of homeschooling. You know? So homeschooling, they get to talk with grandparents, with their parents, with their peers, and young people.
Yes.
Samantala sa mga students sa school, they can only talk at the grade level.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Horizontal lang po sila.
Pero what about yung ano, di ba sabi nila, yung interpersonal relationships with their peers, ano ang nagiging epekto nun pag homeschool? Sa'yo ba may effect yun, Joshua? I mean, hindi ka ba shy? Hindi ka
Actually, yun nga po, when I went to school, I went to school po for a few days, I sat in school po. I was fine po. So, friendly naman daw po ko, I was, hindi ko naman sasabihin na popular, pero I was well liked, kasi po may magka-aral doon. I was friends with both of them, yung friend group ko na yun, dalawa po sila. So, parang, I don't think I have any pagkukulangan sa social skills naman po.
Okay. So, okay. Si Dean Alex, nandyan pa ba? Okay. Okay. Any comment po, Doc Dean Alex, ano, kasi po, kayo, I'm sure, napag-aralan nyo na rin what is a gifted child, ano, yung kanyang mga quirks, qualms, and alam nyo, lahat ng challenges. Ano po ba masasabi ninyo sa kanila? I mean, you know, having dealt with Joshua here, yung experience niyo po.
Napapansin ko with Joshua, I think, the only thing na pwede natin kung gagawin nila is to be able to have a special classes for them. Kasi, another aspect ng psychological, social aspect po ng pag-aaral niya communicated by his family. So in other words, kailangan lang po ng isang very, very supportive family na expose siya despite of having really school even at home. Nakikita ko rin po sa mga pamangkin ko kasi may brothers. Kung brother ko po, ang mga anak niya is in homeschool. And homeschooling was, we also exercise by friends and support as long as there is a group na pwede sila makapag-socialize and be able to improve their socialization skills. So, going back to kanina regarding our government's support, I hope there will be the policy na kung saan even in medical health that these students will be able to be identified. Kasi kailangan mo sila sila sa chat at kung i-budget ko, meron magagawa pa mga teachers natin and we should call the creative para nabibigyan po ng attention yung mga pangangailangan po ng ano natin. And I know even the universities will be happy to cater our students needs. People want exposure to advanced classes. Yung things na I hope that I will give the students yung matatanggap po while they are also developing other skills outside the classroom.
So, ang nangyayari ngayon talaga, ang parents nito ng ating mga gifted children, ang recourse talaga nila is homeschooling because of the lack of support from the government. Ano. Alam niyo, bilis ng oras, it's already 4:48 in the afternoon. Ano. Gusto ko lang po muna nga iseg yung ating pinag-uusapan. Later on, babalik po tayo dito sa ating mga geniuses. I would like to call on po yung mga It's a Beautiful Life scholars. Ayan, nandito ba sila ngayon? Nakikinig ba sila? I would like to announce na sana po yung mga cards out ninyo for the second grading period ay ipasa nyo na po dito sa ating group. Pwede nyo pong i-post para nang sa ganon ay makapag-desisyon na po yung ating grupo kung sino po ang mabibigyan ulit ng ating cash assistance for the coming month. Ano po? And for those of you na nagtatanong, di ba, sa ating It's a Beautiful Life group po, na kung paano po ang sumali para maging scholar, mag-post lamang po kayo and then somebody will call you para lang sa ganun po ay bigyan kayo ng instruction. But eto ho, ang binibigyan po namin ng support ay yun po mga grade 6 yung graduating students na papunta na po sa high school. Dapat may medium grade, may average grade na 85%. Tapos, pag magpapasokan na, syempre, yung proof of enrollment, certificate of indigencies, and syempre po, gusto rin po nating humingi sa inyo ng parang an essay or isang sulat to the It's a Beautiful Life charities na kung saan sasabihin nyo why you need the assistance. Ayan po. So again, kasi mayroong parang tatlo na nagtatanong na kung paano daw po sila makasali dito sa ating It's a Beautiful Life charities dito po sa mga scholars natin. Ganun lang po kabilis. Hindi po kami naghahanap ng sobra-sobrang mga dokumento. Ang importante lang po ay alam ninyo yung mga proof lang talaga na kayo nag-aaral lang inyong anak at hindi nyo naman po talaga kaya na magpaaral. Because again, hindi po ito pera ng gobyerno. Pera po ito ng pamilya ni Connie Lopez, ng husband ko po. Kaya gusto ko po sana na maibigay po natin itong konting tulong na ito sa mga talagang nangangailangan. Kasi syempre, mayroon po kaming konting vetting process para lang sa ganun naman ay alam ninyo, mabagyan yung talagang karapat-dapat. Anyway, balik po tayo muli sa ating discussion ngayong hapon. Batiin ko lang po sandali yung mga nanonood sa atin. We have Angelo Redaha. Ayaw nang gumalaw ng aking phone. Ayan. Okay, si Anita Pangan, she's watching. Nerisa Lising is also watching. Nerisa Lagura is also watching. Oh, my daughter Carla Lopez Pichay is watching also. And Rodeline Sikat is watching. Shout out po sa lahat ng mga It's a Beautiful Life scholars. I don't know if you don't know how to go to the It's a Beautiful Life page natin, but nonetheless po, nandyan po yung assistant natin, si Rodeline. She will take care of the, yung mga requirements and she will contact you po. Or you may contact her at the same time. Alright, balik tayo muli dito sa ating mga genius ngayong hapon. Alright, sige.
May add something sa pag-uusapan natin po yung kakulangan ng gobyerno.
Yes, okay. Actually, we're going there,
Yes.
Ang mga ebidensya, it's overwhelming. Alam natin kung ano yung resulta nitong mga underachievement na to ng ating mga geniuses. And it is a direct consequence of a system that is inadequately trained. Sabi ko nga, Doc Pietro, talagang, alam mo, gusto ko ngayong hapon, I will ask all of you to talk to kung sino man yung dapat natin kausapin sa gobyerno, ang presidente ng Pilipinas, kausapin natin, ang secretary ng Department of Education, yung mga senador na yan, I think it's time that we call them up para nang sa ganon.
Exactly.
Yung mandato ng ating batas, nasa Constitution po yan, na dapat maprotektahan yung rights ng gifted children. Okay, so I will give you now the chance po na magsalita. Unahin muna natin si Sir Jasper Talyada para nang sa ganon, hindi naman siya parting words, kasi para naman tayo. Alam mo po naman, tawag mo lang, mag-message po kayo, manawagan kayo para nang sa ganon marinig tayo ng kinauukulan. Kasi sayang these are future pwedeng astronauts, engineers, scientists. Mali mo, si Joshua makasolve ng problema ng traffic sa Metro Manila. Diba? Or si MJ, kung pwedeng siya yung gumawa ng paraan para yung bigas sa Pilipinas ay talaga naman po ng maayos at alam mo, doble. Oh, by the way, save tayo dyan na. Meron po tayong double harvest ano tawag ito, double harvest, or the lackover, nakalimutan ka na. Fertilizer po, fertilizer. Okay, yan. Try mo yan. Kasi you're from field rice, di ba?
Yes po, yes po.
So anyway, I think we tried the double harvest fertilizer already dyan sa field rice.
Really?
Yes, and parang super na doble yung ang tawag doon, yung yield.
Yield po.
Yes,
Oo.
okay. Na-excited ako, so palaging nalalako words ako pag excited ako. But anyway, yes sir, go ahead.
Yes, this my message is this. Kailan po talaga natin isang programa para dito sa mga gifted children po, no? This parang isang importante resource po siya ng bansa natin. And we really have to think about how can we come up with a good program for all this, no? Ako po kasi, during my college po, marami maging kaklase na mga, kung sabi natin gifted, matatalino po sila. Many of them are coming from FISAI.
Pisay.
Oo. Nung nag-take na kami ng courses, super bored sila. And they even went to a point of they want to have a UP only for these gifted people.
Okay.
Yung klamo nila noon, kailangan sarili UP. So these are just manifestations of we need to come up with a good program for these talented and genius children. Kasi po, sa words na po ni Jose Rizal, ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan.
Tama.
So we really have to put investments on these young people na potentially po sila mag-create ang bagong Pilipinas.
Yes.
So yun lang po.
Okay. So, please si Prof. Sig naman, si Prof. Sig talagang batang-bata pa to eh. I think because every day nakakausap mo, nakikita mo ang mga estudyante, mga kabataan, please, alam mo ang pangangailangan. So, samahan mo kaming manawagan sa gobyerno natin, di ba? Para bigyan naman ng pansin ng ating edukasyon. Because again, kabataan, pag-asa ng bayan yan.
Maraming pong salamat po sa chance na makapagsalita sa gobyerno. At sa tingin ko, we must allow these teachers na mas magkaroon pa sila ng training, okay, para mas maging equipped pa sila to teach the students, especially yung kagaya ng mga gifted natin, para mas magkaroon pa sila ng growth. Okay, kasi sa Pilipinas, sa bansa natin, medyo kulang pa yung meron tayong resources and hindi pa tayo ina-allow ng sistema na mas mag-grow pa, no? Especially itong yung mga matatalinong students natin, no? Kagaya ng mga gifted na students. So, we must train these teachers, not just pedagogies, or training lang natin sila to do admin works, okay? But also, we must train them doon mismo doon sa subject nila.
How to
okay,
teach.
tinuturo nila. Hindi lang siguro how to teach, but also yung mismo tinuturo nila.
Yes.
Ma-master nila yung tinuturo nila para mas matrain pa nila lalo. No?
Alam mo, Prof. Sig, kaya ako sinabing how to teach. Because again, kahit salita ka ng salita, kung hindi ka naman nakaka-connect dun sa estudyante mo, that's not teaching, di ba?
Yes,
Hindi yung teaching. Anyway, si Dean Alex naman, any message po from your end?
Thank you po again, Ms. Connie. I would like to iterate din sinabi ko kanina, yung call for new policy and budget na sana matutukan ng ating mga gifted na mga estudyante. And while waiting for these policies and budget, and I'm also calling sana mga fellow ko, mga SUC, mga state universities, that they are to open doors. Kahit man lang to invite them to attend classes sa mga college level classes namin, for them to be able to see kung ano yung mga kailangan pa nilang natutunan and be able to become flexible po sa curriculum. Kasi sa sobrang structure ng mga curriculum natin in the basic education, in the tertiary education, sometimes we forget na may mga students tayo na we can go beyond on this curriculum. As we have concerns po sa, our education system at so many problems, I hope maigit pa pag-aaral na hindi na ang mga problemang ito at masolusyonan yung mga concerns na ito in general kasi most likely hindi rin natutukan yung mga gifted students natin. In fact, kasi hindi rin natutukan yung problema is a basic level din. So, I'm really thankful for this opportunity sa programa niyo sa Beautiful Life, Ms. Connie, and for all of the guests today po.
Maraming salamat po, Dean Alex Balsomo. Okay, when we return, Doc Pietro, you will deliver your powerful call to action demanding the government to fulfill its constitutional mandate to support every gifted child, rich or poor, or all children for that matter. Advertisement muna tayo.
Beautiful Life dito sa DZME 1530 Radyo TV. Anyway, sabi nila, huli man daw at magaling na ihahabol din. Pagagalitan natin siya kasi nahuli. Ayan. Sabi ko, hindi rason ng traffic. Kasi ang sabi ni Joshua, isa-solve daw niya yung traffic ng Metro Manila. Mga ka-beautiful life, ladies and gentlemen, ayan, let's welcome dito sa programa, Miss Professor Melvir Sucaldito. Tiga de La Salle State University po siya, at isa po siya nga henyo pagdating sa chemistry. Hi, Prof. Melvir, magandang hapon. Bati ka sa ating mga nanonood.
Good afternoon po sa lahat ng nanonood ng It's a Beautiful Life with Miss Connie Lopez. So, ayun. So, ang aking point of view po, no,
Yes,
narinig ko
please.
po yung mga discussion kanina, and it was really, ano rin po, no, na parang, it's really nice that we expose this issue dun sa public kasi hindi naman po lahat talaga ay nakaka-encounter ng genius. On my end po, I met Joshua 2021 during the pandemic days. And then, meron na po akong idea about this Genius Kids because I've been working with Asian Science Math League Incorporated, wherein we also train students that will be joining Science Olympiads. Those are international contests. And then, we send them to Indonesia, Qatar. So, yun, naging coach po nila ako.
Wow.
And then, I realized na the education system here in the Philippines is limited. Like, why do they opt to have this third-party organizations wherein they will be trained?
Yes.
When in fact, our education system must cater them.
Correct.
So, parang ang nangyari po talaga dito is, we need to have this, we need to institutionalize the system na mag-cater po talaga ng mga gifted students like Josh and MJ.
Yes.
So, however, we do have actually po, no, Miss Connie, I've searched sa yung mga recent schools, they have this Bachelor of Science in Special Needs Education wherein they cater students. No?
Yes.
So, actually, different students and very varied. Like,
Yes.
case-to-case basis yun.
Yes.
You have the gifted students and you
The
have
special.
this special needs.
Yes.
So, iba-iba po talaga siya. So, ngayon, meron na, no? Little steps. Kumbaga. So, na-specialize yung education system natin. However, paano po yung mga nasa liblib na lugar? Like,
Correct.
kasi genes, ako I believe, si Kuya Jay nandito, no? Kasi genetics talaga din ang
Talaga.
intelligence, eh. Nasa study po yan, na parang 50% to 60% ay namamana po talaga.
It runs in the family talaga.
Yes.
Oh.
parang si sa mana. 50 to 60% po talaga ay nasa
Talaga?
So, we cannot, no?
Proven yan scientifically,
Yes
ha?
po, you can search po. Even happiness nga po ay namamana eh. So,
Okay.
ayun po.
Talaga.
Parang paano yung mga part ng areas and then nagkaroon ng gifted child,
Yes.
no? Or kahit dito na lang po sa Metro Manila, like, ako personally, feeling ko po marami pong Pilipinong bata na nasa gifted level. Pero hindi natin na-assess at hindi natin nami-meet. Kasi nga, we don't have these institutions wherein they will try to assess kids. Wala po tayong gano'n, no? Yung institutionalized na or standard test
Yes.
para malaman po natin kung ang isang batang Pilipino ay gifted.
Yes.
Wala po tayong gano'n. And we cannot easily use yung mga gifted test po from the West because we can have a different meaning for
Yes.
giftedness.
Yes,
Kasi Pilipino
yes.
tayo.
Yes,
We have
correct.
different culture, right? So, these things, yun po ang i-standardize natin. Kaya po, ako talaga, kami ni Kuya Jay, no, I'm pretty sure si Sir Jasper din po ay naniniwala dito. Kailangan po talaga natin ng batas at ng institusyon na maglalaan ng oras para ma-develop po yung mga ganitong bagay at ma-cater yung mga gifted children here in the Philippines. Kasi naniniwala po ako sa experience ko po dun sa pagsama ng International Science Olympiad.
Olympiad. Yeah.
Really, the Filipino students are really intelligent.
Talaga.
Kayang-kaya po nating sumabay sa intelligence ng mga bata abroad. However, ang mga napapansin ko po, when it comes to the application, laboratory, kasi sa science po ako, no? So, more in chemistry, doon sila natatakot, no? So, yun po yung second point ni Sir Sig and ni Alex, no? I think the training for the teachers must be also focused kasi ang training nga po is to finish the curriculum and to make the average students to pass.
Yes,
So, parang yan eh. Parang
Yeah.
no students left behind. Yun ang purpose din talaga naman ni DepEd. Let's have more students na mag-move up. No?
So this is the reason kaya kulelat ang estudyanteng Pilipino pagdating sa ranking all over the world.
Hindi ko po ito sinasabi na ayan lang po ang reason because multifaceted po talaga ang education, no? Kasi baka meron din
This maybe it's one.
Yes, oo.
Oo.
Correct. Pero definitely naniniwala po ko, isa po yung reason. No? Kahit yung mga students ko po na naging teacher na nagsasabi sa akin ko, Sir, ang hirap po talagang magturo kapag lahat ay pipilitin natin pumasa. Kasi ako po personally, ang mga students, pag nag-explain po ako sa college, hindi ka papasa this time. Kasi ang explanation ko ay, pwedeng yung time to learn these things ay hindi enough
Yes.
for you. No? I'm not telling you that you cannot pass the subject. You will not pass the subject in this time period lang.
Yes.
Kasi you cannot process everything during this time. So, pwedeng i-extend natin to so that when you take the subject again, mas mapaprocess mo siya ng maayos.
So ibig sabihin dapat yung level ng kagalingan ng bata, doon tayo sumunod. Is that what you're trying to say?
Hindi naman
Baka
po,
naman mahuli tayong lahat.
yun po yung
Yes.
term natin dun sa segregation. We try to assess yung mga students that will have different needs so that they can have this specialized curriculum.
So kaya mayroong section 1, section 2, section 3. But unfortunately, ngayong mga panahon na to,
parang wala na.
Parang walang ganon, di ba?
Oo. Kahit nga po yung award system natin
Yes.
ay na siya, mas naka-destructure na siya na ayaw natin i-label yung mga students. So, top 1, top 2 yan. Oo. Ay, honors,
ito ba'y nakaganda sa ating edukasyon or anong sa inyo dyan? Sige, balik tayo sandali sa discussion.
Sige po.
Oo, sige.
This is a really good discussion. Eh.
Sa tingin ko po, noon kasi is competitive yung mga estudyante. So they want to be belong to top 5,
Yes,
top
yes,
4, top
oo.
3. But now, ang nakikita na lang natin is, okay, gusto ko ng mataas na grade because I want to be in the highest honors. So parang gano'n na lang. And then also, yung mga teacher itself, nagko-competition sila. Parang yan sila ng estudyante. Advices na maging belong doon sa mga honors, no? And achievements sa kanila yon. And ang nangyayari is, binibigyan na lang natin sila ng grades without really assessing kung ano yung kakayahan nila.
Ayun. Which is really bad for...
Yeah, I agree po. Kasi may mga days po or may mga batches rather na parang ang nangyari na ay sobrang dami nung mga with honors, high honors, highest honors, ganun po yung division eh. Parang ang nangyayari po is pag sobrang dami nila, nawawala yung award itself.
Yes,
No?
correct. Parang, the essence of
Essence
being
of
outstanding.
award,
Kung
yes po.
50 yung klase, 51 yung...
Tapos, Miss Connie, ganito po nangyari, let's say sa high school po yun pagpasok nila, let's say UP or DLSU, Ateneo, yung mga top schools, universities, they will be shocked, hala, ganito ang mga kaklase ko, tapos, high honors ako, high honors din to. Pero sobrang different. Like,
So, anong naging epekto nun sa psycholohiya ng tao?
Oo, definitely po, meron tong effect dun sa students natin, no?
Parang-
Kaya,
Which is?
ang pinakaano ko po is yung competition. Depende po kung paano yung iti-take ng estudyante, no? Yung competition or competitiveness ng mga students, ang nangyayari ngayon is, it's either ma-feel inferior siya kapag na ganun siya. Pag nag-assess siya, ay, this is the real world pala. And I cannot compete, no? Parang, nabigyan siya ng false award, no? So, yun po yung iniiwasan natin pag gano'n na, parang nasa real world ka na, eto, ganito pala ka-harsh ang mundo at ang daming mas matalino sa akin.
Pero di ba yung parang the idea kung bakit nila yun in-espouse is ang reason is yung parang love for learning instead of parang ang hinahabol mo yung award or di ba ganun yun?
Dapat po, yun po
Diba?
talaga. So, ang nangyayari po kasi...
Kaya lang nag-iba yung
parang ang nangyayari sa atin is,
So,
yung curriculum natin, ako personally po, produkto po kasi yung K-10 lang.
Yes,
I think lahat tayo mga K-10. Naniniwala ako na yung the way we were taught and brought up, no, parang yung competition ay nandoon, pero yung concept din ng love for learning is still there. Ako naniniwala ko majority ng batches natin ay nandoon.
at saka healthy competition.
Opo,
naman siya.
so parang ngayon po kasi ang napansin ko lang sa majority ng bata, hindi po ito, majority po ito, ang napapansin ko ay masyado na silang nagiging lenient because they can easily think na, okay, I'll pass the subject kasi once I'll comply everything, yun na yun, no? So more on compliance than learning.
So, ang nangyayari, parang nagiging na lang sila, yung mas complacent. Para sa akin, complacent.
Complacent po. Maraming students po ngayon ay complacent kasi ang gusto lang nila ay pumasa.
Pumasa, yes, oo. Yes.
Hindi lang sa high school yan, nag-resonate din yan sa college. So pag nag-interview ako ng students from the high school din, aakyat sila ng first year college. Pag ini-interview ko sila, okay, their grade is 98, 97, 95. Tapos, tatanungin ko sila ng basic question.
Hindi niya masagot.
They can't answer it. So, hindi nila masagot. And it's very alarming na binigay na lang sa kanila yun. And then, pumasa sila. Tapos, wala pala silang ganung na alam. Kaya, natuwa ko nung nakilala ko si Joshua, na may ganito din pala.
Mayroon pa pala.
Talagang ganitong students.
May question ako. Ang sabi
so,
kanina ni Doc Pietro, yung ngayon hindi mo naman kailangan yung accumulation of knowledge kasi isang pindot mo lang, nandiyan na si Google, nandiyan na si Wikipedia and all. Pero hindi ba parang inuutusan mo yung, tinuturuan mo yung utak mo noon na parang maging tamad?
Ay, hindi po.
Hindi ba?
Ang ibig
Can you
sabihin,
enlighten me on that?
ang ibig sabihin ni Albert Einstein, education is training the mind, especially sa basic. Tapos, pagka umabot na sa higher education, like yung sinasabi ni Sir C, kailangan na yung matuturo ng higher education subjects, meron ng mastery ng subjects. Hindi na lang to training of the mind. Yung training of the mind should be in the basic education. Tapos, yung mastery of the subjects should be in the higher education.
Okay. So anyway, please continue your message to them kasi we're running out of time. Yung mga 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences pa.
So ayun, nanawagan po ako personally, no, for sure pati din po ang mga kasama ko dito na yung mga senators and lawmakers po natin, we really need, it's high time to create a law or a bill for the gifted so that we can perfectly cater them, no? And at the same time, naniniwala tayo na ang mga batang ito ay meron ding may improve or meron silang ambag po sa future, no? Especially sa Philippines, wherein we have a lot of problems, no? Tsaka, i-keep po natin sila na dito sila sa Pilipinas. So, dito po sila mag-stay sa Pilipinas. Na parang ako po personally, yung mga scientists po sana natin ay i-keep natin sila dito sa Pilipinas. Huwag natin sila paalisin and then papabalikin natin ng balik scientist program, ganyan. Kasi kawawa din po yung mga nag-i-stay.
Totoo.
So, paano po yung mga nag-i-stay? So, sana po ay matulungan nyo ang mga batang ito katulad ni Josh and MJ po. No? Yun lang po.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Nalvir. And of course, si Doc Pietro, yung message mo.
We were guested first by Miss Connie 10 years ago with the late Dr. Leticia Peñanejo, the psychologist of Joshua. She was the primary advocate for the Bill for the Gifted. Meron na pong Bill for the Gifted, umabot sa BICAM. Hindi lang natutupad. Sana matapos po yan. We had a chance meeting with Senator Bam Aquino at the Bacolod Airport one time before the elections before. Sabi niya, he promised to Joshua na, Joshua, if I get re-elected, I will see to it that I will offer that hanggang katapusan, matatapos ang bill, and then I will look into your case. Sana matupad po ni Senator Bam Aquino. Nananawagan kami kay President BBM, kay DepEd Secretary Sani Angara, na magkaroon na sana ng Bill for the Gifted kasi imbis na ma-nurture namin sila, marami pang ibang bata. Kami po, na-nurture namin sila kasi may konting kapasidad kami pero nahihirapan din kami. Mabigyan, sabi ni Dean Alex, mabigyan sila ng pass. Si Joshua sana makapunta sa State University Laboratory, sana makapag-experiment. Sana lang mabigyan habang hindi pa nagpapasa yung Bill for the Gifted, kung ano na pwede maitulong sa kanila. Yun po.
Thank you, Doc Pietro. And of course, now, let's hear from MJ. Kung anong gusto mong ibigay na message sa ating mga audience and the government.
Alright. I've had some people tell me, why do we want to fund a Bill for the Gifted? There is already Philippine Science High. Well, my answer to that is, that's like saying, why do we need to fund the barangay health centers when we have PGH?
I'm sorry.
All Philippine Science High does is cater to the top 0.03%. There's just 10,000 slots. And what they do is they get kids 12 to 13 years old, uproot them from their families, ship them to a boarding house, stick them in a pressure cooker where they will come out traumatized by all the academic pressures of a college-like environment and hope they survive. And half of them, they leave the country. They're not happy with the way things are. Philippine Science High is just a band-aid solution. Have you seen the scholarship contract the Philippine Science High makes the students sign? It forces them to get into science, STEM, mathematics. There are a lot of fields out there that are not STEM that can bring a lot of value into this country. For example, arts, music, business, entrepreneurship. You put prodigies in those 4 fields together, they can make a beautiful video game, a beautiful movie that will bring billions into the economy. And in FISAI, the next budget cycle is around 2.3 to 3 billion pesos. That same amount of money for the rest of the top 1% gifted kids in far-flung areas, like you said, will serve up to 300,000 of those brilliant minds. Just the same amount of money. The highest return of investment interventions like pulling them out of class, accelerating their grades, removing the grade ceiling. Those are extremely cheap compared to the funding and manpower needed for remedial classes for the bottom of the class. So with a small amount of money, maybe just enough to build a medium-sized bridge, 15 years from now, you will be getting trillions upon trillions of pesos in GDP, in tax revenue.
Mhm.
Totoo. That is how it will benefit the country, the government. So we are not here to beg. We are here to make a deal. You take good care of us, and we will bring a lot of value to the country in return.
Wow, that's very nice. Oo. Alam niyo, galing hearing speeches like this from young guys, young boys. Boys pa nga sila, di ba? Mga teenagers and all. So talaga namang very promising. Thank you, MJ, for that illuminating message. And now, the star of the show, we have Joshua Soliman. Yes, your message.
So, gagawin ko nga po, ay magsasata po ko ng Tagalog para talaga wala na po kayong excuse na about, I want to make this very brief. Ilan pong bullet points yan? So, one of yung bullet points na yun, ano po siya? Isolation. Yung isolation, pag in-accelerate na po, actually wait, mauna po ako sa tagdan? Yun nga, wait, yun na lang, sa isolation muna. So, pag in-accelerate na po kami, kasi sa college na, hindi pa fully mature po kumbaga yung utak, tsaka kasi hindi na po yung years, hindi na po yung mga peers namin. Paano kami mag-uusap doon? Kung if you pagsama-sama po kami, di ba po parang mas magka-age kami, ang ganda po nung magawa po namin kung magkasama-kasama kami. Yung isa rin ko pong bullet point, let's treat yung intellectual wealth as natural wealth, natural resources. Gusto niyo ba po na, let's say, some country, medyo controversial to, some country will mine the resources of the Philippines and export it to their country and they will benefit? Gusto niyo ba po yan? It's the same thing with intellectual profit po. Sana, ayaw na pong umalis. Brain drain po yung tawag doon. And then, may isa rin po is, sa kultura rin nga po. Sa kultura, parang mas na-prioritize nga po nila yung high grades o kaya some other industries po. Parang left behind po yung intellectual sa mga staff.
At baka nahiya po magsalita si Joshua. Ang ibig sabihin niya po, mas binibigyan natin ng prioridad yung mga pagka nanalo sa mga Olympiad, ang premyo, ang liit, 10,000, 15,000, eh, nag-abroad pa yon, gumastos. Pero pag nanalo sa ibang mga fields, well, we must support them sa sports. Kaya lang, ang laki ng premyo. Hindi, may discrepancy ang pag-award natin, kaya siguro yung mga bata rin, walang interest sa pag-aaral. Kasi, gusto nila, nanalo si Yulo, lahat tayo mag-gymnast na lang. O nanalo si Javier Diaz, okay, lahat tayo. We want to support the sports, hindi kami sa sports. Pero, pagka nanalo siguro yung mga sa Olympiad, academic Olympiad, dapat bigyan din ng milyon. Di ba? Same, ang dapat kasi ang ang treatment natin sa education, basta lang magkaroon ng grade at diploma.
Okay, let's
Tsaka, pwede po, last na lang po.
Yes, from Joshua.
Yung last na lang po, yung one of the most important sa akin po naisip ko. Let's say, yun nga po, magpasok po kami sabay, yung asynchronous nga po. Anong gagawin po ng eskwelahan? So, yung eskwelahan, say, yung isa po, tapos na siya doon, natapos na siya. So, gagawin po, imbis na pupunta siya sa next, ganun pa yung grade niya po eh. So, papaantayin po siya hanggang makahabol lahat ng kaklase niya po. So, at the end of the year, same yung natutunan niya po as yung mga kasabay niya. Hindi siya po hindi na po na kaya niyang gawin. Yung full potential po is not being maximized. Yun yung one of the most greatest concerns.
Yes, and then the message, ano ba yung sasabihin mo sa kanila? What do we expect from Joshua in 5 years?
Mahirap po yan, yung expectation po. Pero what I can say is, hindi lang po ako makatulong sa Pilipinas. Inisip ko rin po lahat ng world problems ay posible po. There are things we can do to save not only the Philippines, the world. Sana po sana po mabigyan po ako ng chance po, tsaka other people po makasama ko nga po para hindi po ka-isolated. Like si MJ.
You want to add on that, MJ? You want to add on what he said?
What you want to contribute in the future?
Well, I just want to make the world a better place. In
How will you do that?
In my own little corner in life.
And such as?
Well, study hard. Get into medicine. Be a good doctor. Those are my ambitions. And hopefully I can teach and inspire the next generation and tell them my story, both the good parts, the bad parts, especially that I'm a bit of a cautionary tale that I got incredibly lazy in my later school years.
Kung minsan I think that's normal, di ba? Anyway, nako ha, that's really very insightful. Lahat po na nga sinabi ng ating mga guests ngayong hapon na ito. I would like to thank Dean Alex, of course, si Dr. Socaldito, si Prof. Sig Breton, and syempre, si Sir Jasper Talyada.
Yes po. A pleasure.
Yes, and Doc Pietro, and of course si MJ, and Joshua Soliman. Ayan.
Thank you
Maraming salamat sa inyo. And thank you for illuminating this national crisis. Mga kaibigan, mga kakampi ng It's a Beautiful Life, the challenge of the gifted child is not theirs alone. Sa atin pong lahat ito. We must demand that our system transforms into a place where a child's advanced intellect is met with advanced instruction. Kagaya nga kanina, yung sinabi ni Prof. Sig, dapat yung mga teachers din natin ay turuan din natin para ma-advance din yung kanilang isip sa pagtuturo. We must treat every one of our gifted children as the national treasures they are. Kagaya ni MJ, kagaya ni Joshua, at kagaya po ng marami pang Pilipinong gifted children na kung minsan hindi na lang natin na-account, pero talaga, gaya ng nasabi ulit ni Prof. Socaldito, Doc ka, di ba? Doktor ka rin? Doctor of Chemistry, is there such a thing? Well, sabi niya nga, unaccounted for, pero ang dami-daming Pilipino na talaga namang sobra ang galing pagdating dito sa kanilang intellect. And to our government, this is a challenge to you. Sana po, bigyan nyo ng panahon, bigyan ninyo ng pagkakataon, at buksan po ninyo ang inyong mga isip na sana ang edukasyon ay gawin nating una dun sa ating prioridad. Kasi if these children of today na siyang magiging leaders natin in the future, kung hindi po natin sila matuturuan ng maayos, paano na po ang bukas nating lahat? Alam niyo, sa dami ng bilyong-bilyong, trilyong-trilyong sinayang ng dahil sa korupsyon, sana naman po maglaan tayo ng para sa edukasyon ng ating bansang Pilipinas. It's a beautiful life, ladies and gentlemen. Maraming salamat po. Thank you so much po sa lahat ng nakinig at nanood sa atin ngayong hapon. And to every one of you, salamat. Sana mag-guest kayong muli. Dahil ang haba pala ng pag-uusapan natin, Really, let's advocate on this. Because again, kung wala pong papansin sa ganitong mga klaseng advocacy, who else will? Diba?
Sana makasama po si Senator Bam Aquino, Secretary Angara.
We will try that. We will try
Yes.
that. Oo.
Paabot natin po itong ating video sa kanila.
Ang mga congressman, even the President of the Philippines, dapat hindi lang tuwing eleksyon nakikinig sa taong bayan.
this is the time, kahit na anong oras, dapat pag may pangangailangan, dapat ginagawa at tinutupad yung mga pangakong kanilang binibitawan. O, di ba? Anyway, ayan, segue na ulit kami. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. It's a beautiful life, ladies and gentlemen. Maraming salamat po. Until next Sunday, thank you so much. Bye.
Sa Facebook mo. Wala ka nakuha nila eh. Tapos, biglang wala na free parang partner. Pero, hindi ba dapat sa isip mo parang sometimes you're full of yourself?